Hi, everybody, and welcome again to ZCode Sports System. Here we developed automated systems to help you win big. It doesn't matter what sport you're betting on, we've got you covered. We've got some NFL games for you for December 15th, but before we do, I want to invite you to join. You will have the VIP Club section right here. All these tabs here have a lot of great tools to help you make your picks. We're down to the final 4 weeks in the NFL season, and again, every game is going to be more and more important as playoff positioning has yet to be completely determined. We're going to look at 4 of these contests, so let's get started here. Now I'm going to scroll through quite a few of these games. It's a full slate of games, but you can look at any one of these that you wish. I'm picking 4 of my choosing that I think are some of the key matchups for this week. And you can see here there's a lot of information for every one of these games. Kansas City and Cleveland, Miami and Texas, or Houston, Texans. We're getting there. There's quite a few games to go through before we get to one that we want to look at. Here we go, Washington and New Orleans. So Washington's in the middle of the playoff picture. They come in average status, winners of 3 out of the last 6, just 1-3 over the last 4, however. And the Saints are average status as well. They've won 3 out of the last 4, and again 3-3 over the last 6. The Commanders come in as 7.5-point road favorites, odds of 1.263 to 4.0, and you see the over/under here is set at 43.5. The teams are trending in games on opposite sides of the line. As you see here, Washington, 4 out of the last 5 have been over the line, and New Orleans, 3 out of the last 4 have been under the line. The score prediction is Washington 23, New Orleans 15. The confidence in the prediction is rather low, though, at 39%. If you look at the Z code consensus here, you can take a look at this as far as like the money line, who the predictions are for winning and stuff. Now, there are no percentages here as of yet, but you can take a look at that as some of this comes in. You see there's a very high chance that the game is tight. That will be decided by 1 goal. And here's a key thing here. The over-under line, the projection for the over is 97%. So 97% projection for over. The Power Ranks indicator has the Saints surprisingly at plus 12. And Washington is only at plus 3. And that's because of 3 losses in the last 4 games. The teams have not yet met this year, so we don't have to look at the head-to-head status. And the volatility oscillator shows Washington at plus 4 compared to New Orleans at plus 1. Let's take a look at the money line. If you look at the movement in the money line, it opened at 1.671. This is Washington Commanders line, and you can see now they've become even let's see, this was a sharp line detected against the Commanders right here, and has leveled off at 1.263. So the way I look at this, I think this is going to be a game for the Commanders to win, and I like this one to be over the line. This is the game of the day, perhaps a Super Bowl preview, the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions. Buffalo comes in burning hot down, 5-1 over the last 6, and Detroit burning hot, and you can see they have won their last 6. In fact, their streak goes longer than that. They have won their last 11. Take a look at the odds here. Buffalo is a 2.5-point home favorite, and the odds are 1.712 to 2.2. The over/under is at 54.5, and you can see the under 96% under with 5 stars. Teams have been trending on opposite sides of the over/under line, with Buffalo over in the last 5 and Detroit under in 2 out of the last 3. Score prediction for what it's worth is 33-17 in favor of Detroit. Confidence in the prediction is 90%. I don't see the margin to be as high as all of that, but we'll take a look at that, my final prediction in a moment. On the Power Ranks indicator, not surprised the 2 teams are at the top here of the league at plus 31 for Detroit and plus 30 for Buffalo. Head-to-head, the teams have not played this season. Stability factor, meaning how consistent are they with regard to their favorite underdog status. You see Detroit at plus 10 and Buffalo at plus 8. Not a surprise because both teams are favorites most weeks, and both teams have been winning just about every single game. Let's take a look at the money line again. This is Detroit money line. Look at this. It looks like a pretty much movement here going on. It opened here at 1.621, and right here, you see a sharp line move detected against the Detroit line. Boom, down to 1.8. But then you see it came back up, and it's been up and down, but now it has leveled off at 1.714. So in the end here, the Bills could pull off an upset. but it's really hard to predict against the Lions at this point, especially at home. So I'm going to go with Detroit by a slim margin, by a field goal in a game going under the line. The next game I'm going to look at, New England, Arizona, definitely not that one. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. This is another really good matchup for this week. The Pennsylvania Bowl, both teams are really playing well. You see both teams burning hot status. Philadelphia is a 5.5 point favorite, odds of 1.385 to 3.1, and the over-under is sitting at 43.5. The teams have been trending mainly under the line. You see Philadelphia 4 out of the last 5 under, Pittsburgh 2 out of the last 4 under. The score prediction is Philadelphia 30 to 14. Again, I don't think it's going to be this big of a margin. Confidence in the prediction is about 61%. If you see here, the Eagles have won 100% in the favorite status in the last 5 games. Pittsburgh has covered the spread 100% in the last 5 games as an underdog. So this makes it for a little bit of a tricky pick here. This game is going to be a tight game. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a really tight game. On the Power Ranks indicator, Philadelphia has an edge of plus 22 to plus 13. And if we look at the volatility, are the teams consistent? Philadelphia moderately consistent at plus 5, but look at Pittsburgh, not at all at minus 3. So take the favored underdog stats with a grain of salt, which means that since they're an underdog and they're not consistent, there's a chance that they could actually pull this one off and win. So this is a really tough game to pick, actually, but I'm going to take a look at one more thing, the money line. It opened at 1.5 for the Philadelphia, and you can see now it's gradually getting more and more as a Philadelphia favorite at 1.385. I think George Pickens being out, I'm pretty sure he is out in this one. Take a look at this. Him being out isn't going to help any because he has, he's going to be out because and he's an important receiver for them. So I think this is going to be a Philadelphia win because they're playing at home. It's going to be tight. Philadelphia by a field goal, and I'm going to go under the line in this one. I expect a defensive battle. Tampa Bay and the Chargers. Tampa Bay comes in burning hot. You can see winners of their last 3 after losing their previous 3, and the Chargers are average after losing 2 out of the last 3. The teams are trending in games under the line, as you see. 5 out of the last 6 have been under. The score prediction, though, it would be for an over the line because the spread is, the line is 45.5. And the prediction is 29-25 in favor of Tampa Bay with 95% confidence. If you look at the odds, it's the Chargers are 2.5 point favorites with 1.667 to 2.250 odds. The Chargers have won the last 5 games as a favorite. The power ranks, not really a whole lot going on here. Tampa Bay is at plus 8 on an upward trend, and the Chargers are at plus 6. They are on a downward trend at the moment. Let's take a look again at the money line movement. So we can see on the money line movement, it started here at 1.5. Well, actually, no, 1.69. And it's currently at 1.667. So there's been slight movements throughout the week, but it's pretty much where it started. This is another one that's going to be maybe going against the grain here. I think this is a good chance to pick an underdog here. It's not a big underdog, right? So Tampa Bay is only a slight underdog. I think Tampa Bay is going to cover the spread, and I'm going with a higher scoring game. So Tampa Bay and over the line. So there you have it. Those are the 4 games for the NFL for this week. Happy betting, and we will see you again next time.